Well, what's the crack, everybody? You're all very welcome to episode 132 of Buckshot. By sweet suffering Jesus Christ, how are you getting on? What's the crack? Today is Friday the 13th of December, as the Patreons will hear this tonight. And it'll be the 14th of December as the rest of you folks, the peasants, as I'm supposed to call you. But you're not peasants, you know what I mean. You listen to the podcast, you're good people, you share it, you get in contact, the whole lot. How are you getting on? Sorry this happened. I'm still going to bang out the one a week at the very least, but I have a couple of ramble pods lined up. I've notes made. Very professional. Very professional. A couple of ramble pods. We have arrived in Limerick. We're flat out with rehearsals there, so for the last 2 weeks up in Dublin, and we have arrived. We've gotten our house in Limerick. We got in last night. Half the fucking rads were working. Sweet Jesus. I'll have a ramble pod next. You know what? Might do one on Sunday evening, maybe. Maybe have ourselves sit in for the crack. And we just, I'll tell you all about that fucking dose. Where have I been? Where have I been? Fucking nowhere, just in a rehearsal fucking space. Just trying to get this fucking thing. But we landed down last night, late. Fucking nightmare. I'll tell you one thing. You test yourself and you're, are you cut out for fucking family values and all the rest of it? Nobody tells you. You need a fucking trailer. I mean, we travel light pretty much, but like when you're moving for 3 weeks, you kind of, 2.5 weeks, you kind of need to fail safe. And this year herself came with me and the child because she's off on maternity leave. You know what I mean? What's she going to be doing? Fucking, I mean, at the moment, she's sitting at home, minding the child or whatever, but at least we're, seeing the young fella in the evening. You don't want a month to go by. And all of a sudden you arrive back up and he's like, hey, how you doing? Who the fuck is this guy? He's shaving and shit. So, it will work it out. It's all right. So it's been good. It's been busy. It's moving swiftly and smoothly. Fucking scarily smoothly. You know what I mean? We're just waiting for somebody now to die on stage or some fucking thing. It's actually very well written. Wrote this year by a friend of the podcast, Richie Hayes, and his wife. And it's tipping along fucking nicely. So, bunch of fun gigs lined up for next year as well. So, you know what? You're going to be fucking spied for choice. We're arranging. People have been getting on to me about when the fuck Caveman is coming back around again, because they missed it for one reason or another. It happens. It will be coming around again. The producers basically just have to lock in a place, trying to fucking crowbar it in, because you don't want to be doing it on a fucking Tuesday or Wednesday night. You know what I mean? You want to be doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the very least, some Thursdays, but just trying to crowbar it in for as early as possible to get it turned around. So it will be coming back. So don't worry. Defending the Caveman will be coming back around your way, and there will be fucking Cork dates, Belfast dates, and there will be Dublin dates, of course, as well, because that's kind of you got to hit the big cities. But don't worry, we're working out all the kinks out in all the culture spots first. What a cunt! There are no fucking wrinkles. There are no fucking spots. It's fucking tasty from beginning to end. Shout out to a bunch of fucking, I don't know what's after happening. Has the podcast, it's jumped in fucking numbers. I can see a bunch of people are fucking subscribing. That's awesome. Hit subscribe, whatever fucking platform you're listening on, and this shit will arrive into your phone. Don't mind fucking hearing hearsay about it. It's good crack, no matter whether you know the person or not. But go back, especially through some of the apps are a bit fucking slow, like fucking, iTunes and that, or Apple fucking podcast. They'll show you the top 10, and people go, yeah, fuck it. Go back. There's some savage episodes. You go back to the Mickey Bartlett ones, fucking Aaron McCann. Go back to Dave McSavage, Samantha Mumba's in there, Eddie O'Sullivan's in there. Who else? Bunch of good fighters in there. Shout out and congratulations to friend of the podcast, 2-time fucking guest, soon to be 3-time guest, Cool Hand Luke Keeler, who's not only, anybody who listened to that one, he said, I'm going to fucking get a world title. I'm at number 4 or 5 at the moment, but I'm going to get a fucking world title. And by sweet suffering Jesus, he's got a world fucking title coming up Super Bowl Sunday in America for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship. And he swore to me, he messaged me and all about it. He says, Tom, I'm telling you, I'll stand over it. I told you I'd be the first, yours would be the first podcast I do immediately after I win that title, and you can wear the fucking belt through the whole thing. How class is that? I get to wear a WBO fucking world middleweight fucking title belt through a podcast. Yeah, I am a child. Yes, I know you're laughing and going, you're a fucking idiot, Tom. But these things fucking, how many people get their hands on a fucking WBO fucking real deal fucking belt and get to wear it for an entire podcast like an asshole? Not many podcast fucking hosts anyway. Shout out to a fucking bunch of people. I think there must be some in how it's being listed. I think it's been listed differently or something, because a bunch of new people from different places are jumping on. But to the long-term listeners, talking with a son of a long-term listener, today. He's a colleague. He's going to be he's the head dancer this year. He's, one of the soundest skins. He's been there since the very day dot. Still looks about 12, even though he's about 23 or 24. Shout out to Donna, his mother. Apparently she's a big fucking fan. How you doing, Donna? All the way down there in Waterford. She didn't make it to the Defending the Caveman first time around, but don't worry, it's coming back around, Donna. We had a very nice email from Alex in Canada. His missus is fucking Irish, so you know, good on you, Alex. Dipping in the old shamrock. That's the fucking boy. Good on you, lad. So, and there's been emails from, I should have noted this down. There's been emails from other people. People are actually getting in contact, lads. Send me a screenshot. But if you're deeper than that, feel free to send me a fucking email. Go through the website, tomomahony.com if you want, or go to bookshotpodcast@gmail.com. That'll fucking find me. Who else have I to give a shout out to? I was too late with the last one. Gaz, it was your birthday. Long-term fucking listener. This man is so fucking dedicated. He's gone back to the beginning and he's listened to them all again. That's fucking dedication for you. And that, like I said, they're there. Scroll back. There's 213 episodes as you'll fucking listen to this. So you know what I mean? There's plenty in there. There's plenty in there to listen to. If you go through Google, I listen to through Google fucking podcasts, and they'll show you just rip all the way down fucking through them. They'll show you all the way. So, you know what I mean? There isn't like, did you want to see 10 more? Did you fucking want to see? Yeah, I wanted to see 10 more. I want to see 110 more, please. So, there's plenty. 213 episodes in there of this bollocks fucking talking in your ear holes. If you want to follow me on any of the usual social platforms, go for it, lads. Tom O'Mahony Comedy. I'm fairly active on the old Instagram. People seem to like the old Instagram. So I'm fairly active on that. I will reply to you typically when I get around to it on the old chatty snaps. But I don't frequent it all that fucking much. You know what I mean? Facebook is there for as well for the old comedy page. For just listings of stupid shit that I put up and all the rest of it. But, you know, it's Instagram is where it's really at the fucking moment, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've missed a fucking ton since the fucking last. I haven't been able to keep up on the ramble pods. Like fellas fucking blowing themselves up on fucking, or stabbing people in fucking London and getting then shot to shit. For a man to attack another man, I think I talked about it with Haley Joe, with a fucking whale horn. You know what I mean? That's... Also, shout out to anybody in Australia. Apparently a bunch of people were fucking pestering Mickey Bartlett while he was over there that I need to get my hole over there and do some fucking gigs. Lads, find me the fucking time. Find me an agent that'll fucking give me, or booker that'll just say, come on over here. Here's a couple of grand. We'll sort it. You know what I mean? That's where you're at. You're kind of going, well, I go over in the hope that 150 people will show up 5 nights in a row to justify this. Yeah, who knows? Get in contact. If you're in Australia, wherever the fuck you are, if you're in fucking Castlecomer, send me a screenshot. You know what I mean? Let me know. Because I'm brewing up a nice new fucking hour that I will be crowbarring in between these other stage shows that I'm doing and all the rest of it. So I will be taking a fucking actual stand-up. Motherfucking stand-up on the road. Maybe get a couple of local open spots and all the rest of it. So I will be. Let me know where you are. Let me know where you want stand-up to come. And I'll fucking hit you up. Don't you fucking worry. Or I might make my millions from fucking sellotaping a fucking banana to the wall. Do you know what I mean? When shit's gone, that's when you know shit's gone fucking wrong. I mean, I know. Poor old lads living in the UK. Well, we're going to have a United Ireland accord. If you go back to the Paddy Cullivan episode over a year ago, Paddy Cullivan's called it. He said there will be United Ireland and Scotland will go fucking independent because this shit, they can't put that toothpaste back in the fucking tube, as Eddie O'Sullivan would say. So some man for the segways, aren't I? Excuse me here, lads. I'm out in the fucking car park outside UCH and there's fucking children running everywhere. I'm just trying to get this shit. This is the way my life is right now. I had a 15-minute window and I went, you know what I'll do? I'll do the fucking opening intro to the fucking podcast. I got the podcast recorded on Wednesday. So I'm going to go home tonight and fucking get it sorted. Do I have anything more to tell you? I probably have loads. I can't fucking get my fucking head around this. I have enough lines to be learning and all the rest of it. You know, the podcast was very, very interesting. Anyway, the episode, so it was fucking great. McGregor's back fighting. Will he get his whole handed to him? Probably not. He's poor old cowboy. He's seen better days by the looks of things. Did anybody see? I must get this fucking video. I had it on, I think I put it up on my Instagram. Mike the fucking giant baby. Oh my sweet suffering fucking Jesus Christ. The giant traveller baby. What's going on? If anybody has the actual video footage of that, send it to me at bookshotpodcast@gmail.com. Oh my days. Youngster's about fucking 14 stone. He's 8 months old now, so he is. I mean, everybody was raving about fucking the giant baby, but I mean, the real fucking feat of the whole thing. He's wearing a Rolex. Yeah, we said if we were having a buy, we'd get him a Rolex. Is the fucking 6-year-old girl that's holding, I swear to God, the kids, he's like that fat Chinese baby that shouts at camera. You know that fella who eats all the little dumplings? He's basically a traveller version of that chap. But he's got the face of a 45-year-old horse dealer. You know what I mean? There's nothing funnier. I think it was like that kid last year that was sitting on the pony. You remember? I got my rifle and pony and me. And he steps off and starts talking to camera about some fellow over in the UK that's going to go visit him, having a couple of pints with him. He's like 5. There is nothing funnier than traveller children that are like 50 years old. You know what I mean? I could watch them. Never mind your call out videos. I want to watch little traveller children that are behaving like fucking middle-aged men. That's what I want to see. I need to get one of them on the fucking podcast. I've got some interesting fucking podcast guests lined up, and also a few people have kind of put a couple of good ones my way. But moving on, like I said, done all the housekeeping, done all the chatting. I will do a ramble pod probably Sunday or Monday, opening nights on Monday, or we open a show, so it'll be the early shows. Opening night is actually next Thursday, so we'll be home early Monday evening. I'll get a fucking ramble pod in the can for you. But for now, we'll move on to today's guest. Today's guest, for anybody who has ever watched anything in Ireland, will know all about this man. He got kind of robbed, much like Dale Cronin on Dancing with the Stars. But look, let's be honest with you, it ain't a fucking dancing competition. It's a fucking, it's a popularity comp. That's what it is. He is in playing the bad guy in this year's Panto with me, but he's well known for being playing Paulie on Love Hate. But he talked about a couple of other mad big projects he was in. Very interesting chat. Love this. Very, very fun guy. We are sharing a dressing room together. Sit back and relax and enjoy. And brilliant, Johnny Ward. Johnny Ward.
Tom O'Mahony.
Thank you very much. We're welcome to the luxurious surroundings of Artane inside my car. This is the studio. This is what it's all about.
Without the camouflage hat, I'd feel very, very offended, but I don't. Can I wear it?
Of course you can.
This is great.
Yeah.
Love it.
You're kind of in, yeah.
Yeah. Now I feel like I'm in Damon Ira.
You do.
Let's reenact it.
You would have been actually great, yeah, pulling off the...
Do you know I auditioned for the main film?
Did you?
Yeah, I auditioned and my mate got it, Mark Butler. Do you know Mark?
Yes, yeah. Ironically, I didn't get in the movie.
Did you not get in the movie?
No, they'd cut a bunch of the characters for
No
it.
way.
Yeah.
It was great though, no?
It was. Listen, it was like a cartoon that come to life, like the ridiculous things we were able to say and get
But
away
that's
with
what I love about Damon Ivor. They took a risk with it. Yeah, I had to do like a stepping stone to get in because it was the Republic of Terror, wasn't it? But that's what I love. And it was like, I had a conversation with you about it before. It was like when you have Father Ted and Mrs. Brown's Boys and they go to RT and they can't do that. It was the first time they actually, and something like Love Hate, they took a risk. Damon Ivor, they took a risk. And it paid off massively. It was amazing.
It's funny when a thing spins like that because, I mean, by the time you got, was it season 3?
Oh, me, no, 5.
5 even, like, 5, so by that stage, like, Love Hate was up and sucking diesel, like.
Yeah.
Like, going for every actor in the fucking country must have been going for it.
The worst thing is when people come over to you after, like, the success, especially of, like, season 3, and they're like, would you not get into Love Hate?
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know what you'd be great in? Do you know that new, what's it? What's the gangster series? You know, you've got all country women saying it to you. Now you're a devil, but you know what you'd be very good in? What's it called? The love one. You'd be very good in that. And it was. I think that's. It was season 3 or season 2. I went for the part of Fran, which was played for Peter Coonan. Yeah,
right.
And got down again to the last bloody 3 or 4. And then I had sour grapes about it. And we were doing a film called Dollhouse at the same time, and we were like, no, just Love Hate things, ridiculous and stuff like that. Joining in. Do you know the way something successful in Ireland happens and everyone's like, it's not going to take off, and I was one of them people. And then I found myself after season 3 going, oh my God, I actually really love this programme, it's great. But look, it was unreal to be in. It was just phenomenal. But I put a lot of pressure on myself, like locked myself away for a good week and a half and literally just looked at one thing, which was that script. Yeah. It was like, right, Maureen rang me, my agent, and she was like, right, they want to see you again. I was like, there's no point. I've gone for season 3. I've gone for season 4. There was another part I think it was like season 2. It was the guy who choked the swans. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. But he played it brilliant as well. But then it was just like, right, there's a guy. She was like, Johnny, I think you're actually going to do well with this. It was like, it's not for me. They don't like me in there. There's someone in there who doesn't like me. constantly getting out to the last 2 or 3, and I just thought that it was a personal thing. And they were like, this guy rides a motorbike, he's half Hispanic, and also he wears in the description it was like he wears tight jeans, white, big massive runners and leather jacket. I was like, this sounds like me. They've actually written a part for me. So then I went for it, and I didn't hear anything for like 2.5 weeks. I was like, oh, do you know what, that love hate thing. And then
it's never going to take off.
Never going to take off. But I remember one thing for it was, do you know Shauna Kerslake?
Yeah.
She's a really good friend of mine. She's done amazing as well. Obviously, like with the date for Mad Mary, and the new that new horror film that what's the new horror film?
Hole in the Ground.
Yeah, Hole in the Ground. I remember she had texted me. She was like, I'm going in to do your audition with you, and I was like, oh, okay, because the part of Siobhan is played by Charlie Murphy.
Yeah.
And Shauna texted me, and she was like, listen, Charlie's not around at the moment, and they're pretty much just paying me like a one-off fee to go in for the audition. I was like, oh, brilliant.
Grand job.
And then the two of them, or the director, David Caffrey, was like, okay, listen, we believe that you're very angry, and we get that. We just need to see the soft side, the lovable side. So the two of you pretty much just kind of have to hop at each other and kiss the faces off each other.
Really?
And Shauna was like, because we just know each other so well.
Yeah,
she was like,
yeah.
oh, for Jesus' sake. So for that, it was like a weird kind of like...
Yeah, like kissing your sister.
Yeah, in a weird way, yeah. It was a weird one. But look, Shauna's incredible, and she helped me get it. She did a much better audition than me. I don't know why I was cast. But no, it was...
It fucking killed everybody else in Ireland as a result. Like, because that's the thing. It's nearly like Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
You're going to get killed soon.
Somebody's going to fucking kill you.
Do you know how it works, though? The first... Because there's 6 episodes a year.
Right.
And the first 3... You learn your episodes, and I was like, oh my God, I've loads. And they literally cast, I was the last one to be cast. And being the new cast member is really daunting, because something like Love Hate, you know, you're looking at the likes of Tom Von Lawler, Charlie Murphy, Peter Coonan, Lawrence Killen, the rest of them, and they've really built it up to be this talking. Everyone spoke about it. Usually on like a Monday morning, people speak about, oh, Man United and Man City. Yeah. But that was the first time in a long time in Ireland.
A long time. And I don't know if there'll be much since.
Oh, it's crazy.
There hasn't.
Did you watch Love Hate last night? And then you go in, and I used to do like deliveries and stuff like that. And also on top of that, I used to play in a band. And we would stop playing in the pub band because people were watching Love Hate. Yeah, it was crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, crazy. And people just used to like... You could hear a pin drop. People just got so into it. And to know the nation is behind this, and to know already that people, because it's very difficult to get something off which is new, to get bums and seats to watch. It's so difficult. And it took a full, I think, 2, maybe 3 seasons for the whole nation to kind of be talking about it. And to be the new character in this thing, you don't want to feel like a passenger. It was really, really daunting. But anyway, I remember going in and meeting Tom Von Lawler,
right,
who comes over and he's like, hi, did you have a good weekend? I was like, yeah, it was great. I went for a quiet walk with the wife on the pier, and then it's like 3, 2, 1 action. We're like, just I'm gonna talk to Paul. It's crazy. He's unreal. So, but it was really daunting to be this new character. I can't let the side down now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But that was the only association I had with Game of Thrones was. Or not Game of Thrones, but fucking Love Hate, was Damo and Ivor was out around the same time. And I remember taxi drivers, especially, would get nearly angry at me because they go, "Ha, you a Coolchi?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, yeah." Do you know? And one fella, it was fucking amazing. He was driving us into town for a couple of pints, and he says, "Yeah, fucking Nidge is a Coolchi and all as well." And he turned after about 30 seconds of thinking. He went, "Oh, I don't think it's right."
But I still get that now as well, about Tom's character.
Really?
Yeah. No, I thought your man was a very good actor, but I seen him on the Late Late Show there the other week. He's a right prick, that chap. Believing us that he was actually a gangster. Believing it. I was like, but he's an actor. He's a brilliant actor. But it's just like...
If you came into the house and lied to him.
Yeah, I know.
What are you doing to me?
I'll never forget doing the... It was one of our first scenes, and we were shooting it over in the Towers in Ballymun.
Oh, yeah.
Which is gone now. But just before I went, they had obviously lent the premises to Love Hate. And kids were getting the day off school in Ballymun. And they were going around just to see Nidge and Fran. And they hadn't a clue who I was. They were like, usually a man in the leather jacket. But I remember there was Frank, the 6-seater taxi. And kids were so obsessed with Tom Von Lawler that they used to jump on top of the taxi as the taxi was going off. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it.
Kids were the same with Quirk, all right. They're chasing down the fucking road, like. Yeah. But I didn't experience. But yeah, I believe it. It was just on a level.
But I remember kids were. like, there was one Halloween in particular, and there was about, I'd say 6 kids, and it was just this thing on the road, we'll dress up as Damo from Damo and Ivor.
Yeah.
And then there was like a set of twins, and one would go as Damo and the other one would go as Ivor. And it was just like, this is really after taking off.
Yeah,
like,
it was weird.
mental.
I remember being in a comedy club one night, and there was 2 lads dressed as the character Ivor and Tarquin.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. I was like, what's the crack? And I was
That's
like,
mental.
but the following night, this is where it got really weird. It was the same comedy club, and there was 2 girls, and they were giggling away at all the wrong spots. I said, what's wrong with you 2 fuckers? And your one was like, go on, tell him. Basically, you one had rode your man that played Tarquin by total fluke and sat pretty much in the same seats the following fucking night. I went, you rode him. She goes, just stop it. I said, what? Was he any good? She goes, no.
Was he good?
No. It's like, all right, well, he took the character too seriously, so if that's the fucking case. But
you just got to, like, I remember the Devon Murray as well, a guy who I would have known years ago. From like talent competitions and stuff like that, and I was like, he played Seamus in like the Harry Potter films.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like there was everybody's drinking as well. They got like a big song and tune, and everyone was singing it. It's great though when something like that like takes off, especially in Ireland, isn't it?
I can't think of what has taken off love hate wise. Like especially love hate was colossal.
It was only
dramatic drama or even fucking TV. Like because you can't really call this, the likes of I'm a Celebrity, and these things. I know you were in Dancing with the Stars, but at the same time, you would not rank that.
No, it's reality TV, isn't it?
Like, at what point has reality TV just... Is it? I think like the biggest insult of the whole dot has to be Gogglebox.
Yeah.
In all fairness, when you see the work that people put into fucking things, and then somebody we're going to make a show watching people watching
TV.
It's like something out of Black Mirror.
I don't know. I like it though. I do like it.
Oh, but I mean,
it's a weird one. I do like it.
It's like smoking a dirty fag after a few pints. You shouldn't be doing it, and you don't want.
You find yourself watching it.
But people.
God, my mother loves it. She loves it.
Does she?
She loves all reality TV shows, and you find it. But it's like that thing, and it's like Fair City in a weird way as well. It's like that thing of it's always on in the background, and and people stop me all the time. And go, "I know your man, ain't you? No, I don't watch myself." What's it did to her? The girl. What's her name? Katie O'Brien, and she lives in that and she'll say the address to tell her when she was born. No, I don't watch it myself, but the missus loves it now. But you do find yourself watching it. Do you know what I mean? It's that.
Yeah, and it's also your mother must have been out of her mind when you got on Dancing with the Stars, so.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, she was. It was always the one thing. It was like reality TV. I was like, I'd never do any of that. I would never do any of it. I said, the one thing that I'd do would be something like, I don't know. I remember my mate McLean Burke did it, who plays Damien in Fair City, big lad, and he did like this. It was like a boxing thing. I can't remember what it was. It was this boxing thing, and like celebs had to box each other pretty much. And he ended up, I don't know if he won it. He got to the final, or whatever. And I always said to myself, I was like, if there's something like to test yourself, like or like an operation transformation, something like that to really, really test yourself, to do something that's completely out of your comfort zone, but is a talent or something like that, to kind of prove to yourself that you could do it. I'd always do it. And then Dancing with the Stars, season 1, they had asked me to do it. And I asked upstairs in Fair City. It was clash with the schedule. It never would have happened.
Shite, yeah.
Season 2, it never happened. I was like, oh, right. Well, that's me done with them.
Now.
And then they came, and Larry Bassett had come to see the Coppers gig. And he pretty much just asked. And that's how but it was just one thing that I really had to test myself with, because for us, we're so used to an audience. And we're like, I mean, you yourself, you're used to an audience. You're used to, acting and telling jokes. And you're used to laugh, that same sort of surrounding. But it's going into that exact same venue, but doing something completely out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like a boxer stepping into like an octagon, doing like used to that crowd, but something completely out of your comfort zone. Now, I'm not going to lie. There was and if you did it, we'd have an advantage with the whole kind of show person thing and stuff like that, and kind of making out and pretending you know what you're doing. But my God, that's a very, very tough gig. And out of all the people, it depends on who you get. Now, my mate Ryan Andrews is doing it now at the moment. He's also from Fair City.
Yes.
And he's brilliant. But he was just like, any advice or whatever. And I was just like, just say nothing, shut your mouth, and just put your head down and work. Because you think you have loads of time, but you don't. These people actually really do know what they're talking about. They're Latin and ballroom champions. Like, geez, when you see them, and they're all so mature. When I met Emily, who was my dance partner, she was 21 at the time, but she speaks like she's about 50. Do you know what I mean?
Jeez,
and it's just like a different language. It's so but we had terrible, terrible arguments all the time because I just didn't trust her. I was like, Jesus, I'm going on I'm going on the TV in like 10 days. I haven't a clue about this dance because she was just so technical.
Yeah.
And then I think as soon as the week one kind of progressed, and then you kind of get into it. But it's mad, like just working. Now we're doing the panto, and yeah, we didn't have a lot of time. Now we're doing like pretty much 2.5 weeks of rehearsals. So you learn your script, and then it's not that it's thrown together, but it's like there's a certain amount of trust with the director and producers and ourselves as well. Whereas that you're doing something, it's like you or me doing something, and Debbie constantly saying, "No, do it again." You're like, "Hello, boys and girls." No, do it again. Hello, but no. It's just not right. Do it again. And you're just doing this to waste time. And it's horrible because there was one day and she was like sitting there with a sandwich and a coffee. She's like, right, just practice it. And I was like, yeah, I did. Right, do it again. And it was a sidestep and something called a kickball change where you pretty much kick.
I've heard of these.
Yeah, and you pretty much kick and you go onto the other foot, but you don't. You end up on the same foot. And I practiced it and she was like, right, do it again. I was like, okay. She goes, no, it's not right. Do it again. And the more she was eating this sandwich and slurping her coffee as well, I thought,
yeah, I can see that winding you up.
I'm gonna hit this girl. I'm gonna
go full Fair City on this bitch.
I'm gonna kidnap this bitch. No, and she kept saying no, 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 and I said to myself, I'm gonna give it another 7 times. 7's the number I always think. Is it this? No. All right, would you just show me real quick, right? Kickball change, slat. I was like, okay. No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. And then I turned around and went, well, can you fucking do it then? You do it. Get up and you do it. And she was like, there's no need for that. I was like, I'm sick of you. I'm done with you. What? I tell you what. You stand up here and I'll sit down. I'll have the sandwich. I'll have the coffee. And you do what I'm doing. And then I just went like, absolute AWOL. And I said, well, do you want me from an actor's point of view to talk about your face? Why do you keep doing this every single time you do yourself? She did this thing where she put her tongue in her mouth. And I was like, something wrong with you? You're like, what do you... And then we just killed each other. And we didn't speak for the rest of the thing. She was teaching me. But then she'd say like, right, we go for a coffee. I was like, no, you go for a coffee. I'm going home. We'll see what we do. And then the first week happened and we got really good scores. And I was like, hey, I'm really sorry about how I spoke to you in the rehearsal room and stuff like that. And then
turns out you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then we just bonded and we just became really good mates ever since. But that's the thing. That's what I always say to Ryan. He was like, any advice? I'm like, just listen. You think you might know what you're talking... Because it is difficult.
Of course, yeah.
I think it's easier for someone like Peter Stringer, who's a rugby player. Yeah, he's used to that crowd, but doing something completely different. He hasn't got a clue. Dennis Bastek hasn't got it, or Darren.
Iota,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas we know that we're performing, and it's such a difficult one. And people think, oh, is there an advantage being an actor and stuff like that? When you have that, it's really difficult not to say things. And also I teach as well, so I'm used to kind of going into a room and saying, you know, boys and girls, this is what we're going to do. This week we're going to do an improvisation based upon bullying or something like that, and being the one in control of the room. And then you don't have that, and you have to shut up. And every opinion that you have is, you have no experience whatsoever, and it's horrible.
I know,
horrible.
Because there's a few times even with the panto, like I'm going, that ain't fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I've had to reel myself back in, as you say, trust, because I'm going, oh no, Tom, 99.9% of the time you're playing to drunk adults.
Yeah.
In a fucking rough comedy club environment. This is to an open forum to kids and parents who are happy that their kids are smiling. Yeah. So say the silly shit.
And there's the whole traditional kind of Christmas thing about it.
But for the first while I'm going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That ain't... But then
Tom, I am trying my best, all right? I know exactly what you're talking about. He's talking about scene 1 when I come out, and I say this line, he goes, what the fuck, he's shit! Go back to Love Hate, you...
Where did you get warned from? I thought he was a traveller!
We don't say no about no one here. That was one thing about Love Hate as well. There was there's a lot of travellers.
Yeah.
That's one thing about Love Hate that really worked was...
So diverse.
So diverse. But like a lot of them, a lot of actors weren't actors. They got real heroin addicts.
Did they?
Yeah, they got real...
How do you go... hello?
Season 5.
Can I have some heroin addicts, please?
Look, I don't know how they did it, but they got the real... And that's why there wasn't, there wasn't extras who were kind of part-time actors or anything like that. They got the real deal. They got real ex-convicts. They got real... people
it was a copper that was a copper, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kieran. He was a cop for a detective as well.
Yeah.
They got the real deal, and I remember, and they got real travellers on site as well. Obviously with John Connors as well, lovely guy. He got loads of travellers. But I spent the first week because they heard my name was Ward, because it is. My name is the biggest traveller.
Johnny Ward,
Johnny Michael Francis Ward.
Oh my!
Yeah.
That's how you
Johnny
should.
Michael Francis
Your whole
Ward.
Twitter handle should be that. Johnny Michael Francis Ward.
For the first 2 weeks, I was just.
Johnny Michael Francis.
Just Johnny Mickey Frank is what they used to call me. Johnny Mickey Frank, and they were just trying to convince me that I was related to them and I was a traveller. I remember I always used to get we used to live in Clondalkin, and they wouldn't get a taxi to my house because of my surname. They used
Oh
to think I was
my
a traveller.
God, that's
Horrible.
hilarious.
But I got on great with them. I got on great. No, they wouldn't. No, what's your name? Johnny Ward. Okay.
Hi, my name is Johnny Ward, the actor.
Johnny Michael Francis Ward.
Johnny Michael Francis Ward.
We great crack. We great crack with it. So much fun.
Yeah, in fairness now, you've landed a couple... Like, we're only talking about mad fucking pilots and stuff, and then you just sprung... I was talking about the madness of how a thing sometimes doesn't get made.
Yeah.
And this pilot that we made once upon a time for RT, and it had quite a rack of big-name comedians in it.
Yeah, you were saying.
And just how a thing, at the time, they just went, Arif. They didn't even go, great lineup, could you do something maybe like this? They just went, no, it's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And something clearly very different appeared on like the schedule the following week. It was like, oh, right, fair enough, that's not... Yeah, I see the route you were going there.
It can be soul destroying as well. Especially when you see that vision and like, you're looking left to right and that thing that project you told me about, and you're just looking, this is going to work. We've got serious talent here. And the names that you said as well, wow. And then when it doesn't, and your vision just becomes dark, you're like, wow, okay, back to square one then.
Yeah, and you at the time you could have... you would think, like, if anybody brought something to you in such a way, whether it's a creative thing or not, but if somebody brought such talents to you and said, look, this is what we have, that's not what I want, but fuck me, if you can get those together again, head down this road.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even said. But it was only then you sprung, I'll tell you about a mad one, about a pilot, where fucking things... And the money you were talking about.
Listen, I'd literally just finished we did Love Hate, that aired in like October, and then I went into Panto just to do something completely different in the Gaiety, and we did Peter Pan. I was like, right, let's go from gangster to tights. Right.
Who were you?
Peter Pan.
Were you?
Yeah, it's weird that you get like a fully grown man to play Peter Pan.
Who were you?
Just had to shave and stuff like that.
I'm after growing up, Wendy. You're in for a good old shock.
Yeah, think of it. And open that.
But after that, there was Ali Coffey had phoned my agent, and she was like, we'd like to see Johnny for the part of Browd for a new project called Clan of the Cave Bear. I'm not going to lie, I went in and thought, listen, it was literally the day after the Panto, and we all went out and we had a few drinks as well. So, right, go up. I didn't even read the script. It's the first time I've never read the script.
Ropey as fuck, just wandered in.
I didn't know what it was. There was a few things, like American accent, and the line was, woman, bring me water, and I was like, woman, bring me water. And they were like, right, okay, can you do it again? I was like, yeah. Woman, bring me water. And they were like, can you do it a bit more aggressive? I was like, yeah. Woman, bring me water. I was like, yeah, brilliant, okay. Then they asked me to go in for the second audition, and I was like, what is this? I read it. And then Ali Coffey had rang my agent and said, the producers are really, really impressed with his audition.
Right.
We just loved the way he underplayed it, and the way he didn't...
Turned up hungover.
The way he didn't deliver it like a Neanderthal. And we're like, what the fuck? Neanderthal? I need to read the script. So it's a thing called Clan of the Cave Bear.
Yeah.
And it was this really successful novel in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, by Jean M. L. And it's about a bunch of Neanderthals who are on their way, and they find... a girl, oh God, I can't remember the right name of it, but a girl who's not quite a Neanderthal and not quite human.
She's the missing link.
Yes, in between, but she's a lot more advanced. Everything is man. Man is the person who goes out to get food. If the man wants to have sex, he just says to the woman, they do, but they do all the food at home, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, what? Why have they asked me to come back in? And they just loved the fact that I kind of... A Cro-Magnon is the name of it. She's a Cro-Magnon in between. And it's about this girl, Isla, and how she deals with a clan of Neanderthals, and how one day I'm the body in it. My father is he's the leader of the clan, and one day I want to take that position, and but I hate her. And that's pretty much the story. It's pretty much showing a Cro-Magnon woman's struggle living with a bunch of people, how she has to follow the rule even though they're much less intelligent than her. And there's like things in hunting, and we're trying to do all these things with the, trying to kill animals, but she's always a step ahead. And then Ali Coffey rang, and she was like, hey, not Ali, someone else rang, and she was like, hi, Johnny, we just want to put you on, you've got your final audition, as you know. At this stage, I read the script about 6 or 7 times. Like, fuck, I need to get my shit together. And I had watched, there was a film of it called Clan of the Cape Bear, starring Daryl Hannah from Splash. Remember Tom Hanks?
What?
The blonde girl.
Yeah.
Unreal. And beautiful as well. And I was watching it, so I had a fair idea. She goes, we're just going to put you on to Ron. He just wants to have a chat with you. Ron, Linda, and someone else, Steve. I was like, okay. It turns out it's Ron Howard. Ron Howard. I don't know.
Ron Howard, Happy Days / has done Apollo
the
13.
Grinch, bloody Apollo 13. Rush I only watched last night. Have you seen it, Rush? About the Formula 1 drivers.
Yes.
Unreal, like.
Fucking brilliant.
Incredible. And
what a legend.
I'm speaking to Ron Howard. Linda Wolverton, Googling her. She's the creator of The Lion King. She wrote, she said how it all just like came up, how she had a dream about Simba, but wanted to become king. She came up with these incredible like ideas. My favourite childhood film, which is Homeward Bound. Remember the animals where they talk and stuff? She wrote it. She wrote the screenplay for the. She's like, wow, and Maleficent starring Angelina Jolie, and then Steve Beers, who worked as a producer on the A-Team, and I was just like,
here.
Hey, how are you? Like, we really like what you're doing. We just want you to be less aggressive, tone it down, but have the aggression in your eyes. Is that okay? I didn't sleep the night. I went in, and then literally about 3 days afterwards, my agent ran. It's the most excited I've ever been. She was like, Johnny, you're going to, it's Fox TV, and you're going to be working with Pierre Morel. He's directing. Pierre Morel's the director of like Taken.
Yeah.
And The Gunman with Sean Penn from Russia with Love with like John Travolta and John Rhys Meyers. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Cut a long story short, I remember flying first class on Emirates, just myself, with like recliner seats, and just thinking to myself, oh my God, this is it.
You never do anything again in your life.
I've made it. I've made it. We signed contracts to the year 2020. This was 2015. American visa, South African visa, and we spent 3.5 months in Cape Town, learning how to walk like a Neanderthal.
You could have just gone up to Roscommon.
Oh, Jesus.
You could have gone to Temple Moor as well with the guards.
Roscommon's brilliant, and it would have been a lot more interesting. But I remember all the people like in
except Rand as well in the shops up there.
Can you imagine like this random South African rugby club, and people are driving in traffic, and they just glance and they see us all, and I have big massive beard as well. Me and all these like lads and women just walk around like Neanderthals, like, and we had to grow our hair. All the women, they weren't allowed like shave their armpits. We had to grow our nails and all. But there
was no in-cast riding going on there.
None. And just after that, it was just like, this is going to take off. We did this pilot. I'll never forget the first scene, and Pierre Morel, and he's strict. He's a very, very strict director because he used to be a cinematographer, so he kind of looks a lot like that. He wouldn't be very much. I'm not going to say he's not an actor's director, but he looks at you and then he sees the overall picture, and you get very paranoid, thinking, am I doing a good job? And after about 2 months of training, then we started to film it. I remember the first thing, and this massive they built a crane. They built a cave, a proper cave. They put $32 million into this pilot for lifetime.
Jesus
the very first shot, Tom, was this massive crane coming down, and I was like, where's the camera? Expecting to see, as you do, a man with a camera.
Yeah.
Massive crane descends down with a camera, and we're like, oh my God, this is brilliant. And the best thing...
It's a long way from Carrickstown.
Oh, it was though. It was crazy. And we all were so sure it was going to take off. It had a great, phenomenal cast. It had a Hallasan from like Dawson's Creek. A few Irish people involved. Shirley McKenna was involved with it as well, from like Pure Mule and Raw as well. And we were just so sure it was going to take off. We signed a contract, and I've never done this before, and it sounds amazing, right? I was not allowed to take on work. We got back in September, and from September to December, I was not allowed to take on work, and they would pay me a weekly wage to not take on work in case it took off. And on the 11th, it's probably the 11th of December now, is it?
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Today.
On the 11th of December, 2015, 4 years ago, we got the news. And Maureen rang me and she just went, it's not happening. It's not happening. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, the guy who was originally interested in it from Lifetime, he had died, and then they wanted to sell it to the National Geographic Channel. And then they were they were showing Vikings and stuff like that. And no one had any interest in it at all. And the whole thing completely flopped. And it's that vision of planning your next. I mean, I'll be over there now, still doing it till 2020, and it's like, right. And it was a depressing bloody month, and we were all, Christmas, it was a tough pill to swallow. And then January came along, I was like, right, let's get straight on to the next thing. And then it was like, right, what's next? And then there was an audition for Fair City. It was like, brilliant, this is potentially about 2.5 years work, let's do it.
Because old ones love Fair City. Like,
they love it.
Even we were standing outside the shop the other day and we were just admiring this dog. Like, Artane is the strangest place ever. It's like a time warp. And I actually said it to you, I said, it is the Carrickstown's come to fucking life. Like, we were just admiring this dog waiting for the girls to come out of the shop.
But we were chatting about someone in the cast or something.
A private conversation.
We were talking about Rachel. Was like, but she's fucking brilliant. She's great. And your one comes over.
An old one.
You're not. You stop that cursing, you.
Yeah.
And just ran off, isn't it?
And then the woman who owned the dog came out 2 minutes later. She goes, hey, looking at you. She's like,
mad, isn't it?
how are you enjoying Fair City?
But it's a soap.
Johnny's like, I'm in prison right now.
But it's a soap everyone. They pretend they don't watch, but
400,000 people, that 1/10 of the population watch that show.
It's true.
For the love of Christ, of course.
Even with the Katie kidnapping storylines, like so many people who didn't watch Fair City got behind it, and like, what's it? Jim and Nobby from FM 104, they started doing like random skits about it. We were in like loads of comedian skits as well.
Yeah.
Is your one still locked up? I remember meeting Christy Dignam from Aslam, and he came over to me and he was like, see you.
See you.
Have you still got that bleeding board locked up? I'll bleeding read you. Like, and a lot of people just knew about it, you know what I mean? But I remember it had the night that it was all revealed and stuff. Donald Trump was elected for president, but in Ireland, Fair City was trending above the US election, like.
There you go. I don't watch it myself. I don't. Of course you fucking.
But I'll tell you all about your character.
Yeah.
And everything that you've been eating there last Thursday night.
What would you be if you weren't an actor? Because you were at it for a long time. Could there been another path that you went down? Like,
I don't know. It was something that my mum and dad kind of put me. It was like monkey see, monkey do. So the two sisters did it, Maureen and Susan. We went to like a local speech and drama thing with a woman called Mary Birchall, and then it was just like the first film we did was a film called The Boy from Mercury back in like 1994, I think, and then it just kind of stuck since then. And then you get big things and then you get really, really small things, and that's the thing. I think the danger about someone becoming an actor now is they get a big fucking gig and they change their personality and they think they're the best things since sliced bread, where I loved having that experience as a kid going, something as big. Like, the biggest thing I've personally probably ever done was Les Miserables. In like, I was 11 years of age. Colin Wilkinson, who was like a hero of mine. Do you know of Colin Wilkinson?
No.
He's like probably the biggest like West End kind of Broadway star of all time. And have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. I was such a fan of it, and I got to play Gav Roche, which was in the back
Johnny,
then.
I'm so uncultured. It's not even funny. Like,
but it was like the Point Depot, and you're playing to like 4,000 people.
just when you weren't around like a little fucker busting light bulbs.
Yeah. Just slightly before that. That's when I became like a raving drug addict and an alcoholic, aged 13, smashing light bulbs and stuff. No, but it's difficult to go into that, and as a kid and seeing like 4,500 people standing ovations, stuff like that, and then you go into school and it's one extreme to the other.
How was your weekend?
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a weird one. But it's I suppose with something like that, because so many people who were a part of that project, not going to lie, that Clan of the Cave Bear, one or two of them were very down, very depressed, and you're signing your life away, and you think, I've really worked hard for this, and it's just, you can never get, yourself, you can never get too comfortable, because
that's why I even talk with herself, because you're not really excited right now for something and I'm going, I actually can't. I have that much mental scar tissue from losses of gigs. And the carpet can be pulled from under you, and you don't have a foot to stand on.
And then it's that paranoia, because as actors we're paranoid all the time. We're so paranoid. We're thinking as well. And you always get. Do you ever get the fear? Do I still have it?
Yeah.
Am I?
Try one. You could do 100 stand-up gigs, and you have one fucking weird one. You're like, well, that's me jacking this shit in. I can never do this again.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre
You can see it as well, and even with stand, I was in the Halfpenny in last. I was actually chatting to your mate, by the way, guy you were talking about there the other day, and you see a lot of the stand-ups, and a lot of them, it's very, I think it's the most difficult thing to do. I really do. I personally, I'd love to challenge myself just to say for once I'll do it. But I don't know how they do it, especially with really, in so many ways.
That's a show we'll do.
But
that's
it's
a show we'll do.
Jesus,
Dance with the Stars. We'd get the fucking stars out there and stand up.
Let's ring Larry Bass right now.
Stand up with the stars. I'll teach you how to do stand up. How to die in your hole.
We'll give Fred Hook a ring as well. I don't know. Like, I'm just going to go with it. But it is, and I was looking at a few of the stand-ups last night, and I'd say it's a lot tougher to go into a room like last night, which was about, I'd say 22 people, as opposed to like 2002 people.
Oh, ridiculous.
I don't know how you do it, though.
When there's a fucking massive room of people, it's laughter's infectious.
Yeah.
And you could quite literally just throw one out there, it'd land, and you can fucking milk that bastard for 2 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
But in a room where nobody cares, it's like doing it in somebody's sitting room. You've got to be on like a machine gun.
But what I get as well, what I find really difficult, Tom, is the fact that you go into the Halfpenny Inn, or you go into where I've seen you a few times in the Laughter Lounge. And there's so many different cultures. There's so many different kinds of people. They're not dubs. They're not all from the country.
Yeah.
You might get about 3 or 4 of them if you're lucky, but they're from Belgium, Australia. You know what I mean? Sri Lanka, Iraq.
The thing is, they've kind of squared themselves up too for an Irish comedy club to a certain. Now there's no point. There's certain clubs and rooms you walk into. There is no point in doing your best fucking liter material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was in the International the week before last, and I went in and I was.
Oh, was the International I saw you?
Yeah,
not the Laughter Lounge. Sorry.
And I was after coming. I was doing 3 gigs in one night. I was after coming from a gig. Beautiful. Went into the International. I said, I'll jump on first here if that's all right, lads. You went, yeah, absolutely. Fucking room full of Dutch cunts. I went, all right. And then normally when there's foreigners, they've their head in the right game, and you again stay away from the Irishisms. You know, and you can play with them a small bit, but these were the weirdest bunch of bastards. Yeah. They'd go with you for about 30 seconds into a funny point, and then they'd stop and have a conversation about it, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's strange.
But then you go up the road to another room and go, what was that? I'm depressed after that. Up to another room.
Is there a lot of that, though? Because that's one thing I think not that I've heard. And
I think a lot of it is made of it. Like, there's...
No, I get that.
A lot of it is to cover... I think a lot of it is to cover fucking... a lot of drugs that are done too.
Really, yeah.
I'm depressed as fuck. You're like, pull your trousers up. There probably was maybe a couple of years ago, maybe a decade ago, because typically it was if you were that kind of a person going into it anyway, it's and you were going into it for love, basically love me.
Yeah.
But what happened then was people that were going into it that were quite funny anyway and relaxed. And I think there's more of a relaxed vibe now.
Yeah.
Before it was real crazy eccentrics, whereas that's because there was just less stand-ups, especially in Ireland and the UK, there was just less fucking people doing it. Now the standard is higher.
One thing I always find about stand-up comedy as well, you couldn't be in a more depressing place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk in, all the comedy clubs, it's dark, it's dull, there's a brick wall a lot of the time, and it couldn't be a more depressing place to make someone laugh. But I get that buzz. I remember, myself and Rachel doing, Copperface Jacks the Musical. You're walking out, and people are at the very, very end. We're coming out to Mark McCabe's Maniac 2000 as your final bow. Yeah. Everyone's up on their feet. You do the final bow. Everyone's buzzing. Half of them are going to go to Coppers because they get free entry anyway with their ticket. And then you go on your motorbike and you drive home.
Yeah.
And watch Fair City.
It's bizarre. Yeah. Well, that's why.
Do you know what I mean? It's one extreme to the other. It's like, and it's so difficult not to.
You could go mad. And I remember Tiernan, that was one piece of advice he had for me. I opened from a couple of times. He said, the best thing
Say you did, all right.
I did, yeah. And he said, have one drink. He said, if you can. Don't go fucking get hammered. Or have a decent drive home. Yeah. Have a long drive home. If you can work one from the other, he says, have something to be done with yourself. Because if you're mithering around inside your own head immediately afterwards, you could go fucking mad. But then he sold him, it depends on the personality too. Like mad fuckers be mad fuckers everywhere. We've all worked with a mad fucker working at Spar. You're like, that fellow could not,
Yeah.
So I think sometimes when some of the big famous ones go, I'm at the throes of depression when I'm not on the stage, that doesn't apply to everybody.
I know.
But also,
you understand. I do understand it as well.
But people give out about having a boss, especially in stand-up. Man, you've 100 bosses.
Yeah.
And you got to be fucking smiling at all their stupid shit that they're coming out with because you want to get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So I suppose, but it is. I don't know if it's rife
But there does seem to be a bit of an arm around the shoulder for people that claim to have a lot of it. I think a lot of them are turning on that fucking... Of late, they're turning on the old...
You know, you just hear it, and it was always something I could relate with. Especially with, especially with, like a live performance, and it's literally one extreme to the other, and then you're saying goodbye to everyone, and then you put on your jacket, you're going home, me and the motorbike or the car or something like that. And it's literally that to something else. I always find like watching a documentary or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Check out of or check back into reality kind of thing.
Because the danger is trying to keep that buzz.
Yeah.
And then you go, because that's the danger of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
The Edinburgh Fringe Festival is just murder because you've got a pass. Basically, you've got an artist pass. In possibly 50% of the bars in the city, you're drinking at maybe 20% the price of everybody else, and everybody you know and like is there, and everybody's doing their own shows. And whether you've died in a hole and you've gotten like 2 people in, or you've had a great night and you've had a full house, it doesn't make a difference. Everybody's on the sauce, and it's just a fucking month of just leaving your liver behind, trying to actually avoid fucking yourself up, because you just want to keep that up all the time. Because you don't just do your own gig, you pop off and you do little compilation shows just so you can flyer at the end of it. Just so you'll pop in, do 10-minute expo. So go, now you want to see the other 50 minutes. So of course you go in there and you're having a pint here, and before you know it, then you're going, man, I've drank 10, 12 pints today.
I'm going to try and organise like all the cast of Coppers to go to Fringe. I went once by mistake. I'm a massive Celtic fan, and the Commonwealth Games were on at Celtic Park.
Right.
And Celtic had Legia Warsaw for the Champions League playoff.
Yeah.
I keep doing that. I don't know what's... I'm so obsessed with breaking your car. I'm sorry.
All right.
And anyway, cut a long story short, they had to move the game to Murrayfield, which is in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And I checked into the hotel and like, oh, sorry, there's it wasn't a Travelodge or something. And they were like, sorry, the booking didn't go through. I was like, what? So you're right, I just have to say somewhere else. Looked around and was like, there's no hotels. What am I going to do? So why is there no hotels? I'm like, oh, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival's on. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Number one, I've never met so many nice people, especially in Edinburgh. Beautiful city.
Oh.
But cut a long story short, I remember we were like, brilliant, let's go to this comedy club. Celtic lost 2-0, it was a bad meal, right? Let's go to the comedy club, get a bit of a laugh. And I remember there was this American guy, and he kept pointing, he just kept pointing at the 2 guys in the front row. He was like, hey, you 2 are definitely fucking, hey, these 2 guys, they're definitely fucking. And it kind of became an ongoing joke.
It wasn't Tom Stade by any chance, was it?
I don't know.
Black curly hair?
No. Red hair guy.
Right.
Looked a bit like Tim Minchin.
Okay.
Tim Minchin. Is that his name?
Yeah.
And he kept going on and like, oh, well, these 2 are definitely... And he was good. He was very funny. But any time he'd sort of... The audience weren't... He'd kind of point blame at them. And everyone was sort of laughing and saying, oh, yeah, the 2 of them are definitely fucking and the 2 of them are definitely riding. And he kept saying it. And the 2 of them... Because your man was like that. It was like, oh, okay, they're obviously a gay couple.
Yeah.
Great. And then the 2 of them... Oh, this is horrible. The 2 of them got up to leave. And he was like, oh, it's only a joke. Oh, the fucking 2 homosexuals. One of them had a stick. And it was a man and his blind son sitting in the front row. And he was taking him out to the bathroom. And I just remember the comedian going, okay, so we're going to just wait till they leave. And you could hear a pin drop. Like, what the fuck is he going to say? They left. And then he just went... And now we're going to talk about how fucking awkward that was. I've never laughed more in my life.
Yeah, you have to point the elephant out in the room sometimes.
Oh,
Jesus.
God.
Oh,
But
Jesus.
that's one of those things, being a centre of attention all the time, when it's not scripted as well.
Yeah, you do. Well, I mean,
When things like that... Have you ever pointed, like, fun at someone, or it's just like, oh, shit, I shouldn't have done
There's
that?
moments where you just have to give it to the audience when they've outdone you, too. Like, you know, you go, oh... I remember I was in the Jobstown Inn. There was actually a great room at the back.
I used to kick in the Jobstown.
They used to put about 200 people in the back.
Yeah.
And I used to love it because it was kind of wild and rough. You
Then
know?
it got all flooded. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but there used to be hour ones drinking buckets of WKD shouting at you and stuff. Remember one hour one telling me, show me your cock.
Mad for the darts there as
Mad.
well.
But we went in.
Show me your cock.
Yeah, that was her opening heckle as I went on the stage. And the only answer to that, everybody's roaring laughing because she's obviously the fucking matriarch of the room. Like, I went, fuck me, you bring your fucking mother anyway. And that was it. Shut the fuck
Jeez,
up.
I used to be in a cover band there. The bitch never said it to me once.
Yeah, but she. but I remember I was there one night. It was not long after Damon Ivor, I used to do this bit about how I'd always thought I had a cool walk. But I really know that I'm definitely a culture because I saw my own walk, for the first time on TV, on national TV, on Damo and Ivor.
Yeah.
Because I bet you all think you have a cool walk, don't you? Well, it's worse than hearing your own voice. Your own voice is disgusting. Your walk is... trust me. You've all nobody's seen their own walk? I must have said it 4 times. And people go, no, I didn't see one. And then one bloke just put his hand up. He's sitting like second row. He goes, no, Tom. And I could hear him. He goes, no, Tom. And he didn't shout it. He just said it subtle enough to go, no, Tom, I've never seen my own walk. And he just scooted himself in his wheelchair with his 2 completely limp little legs on the wheelchair. And I just looked fucking down. I went, and in that moment I could have went, sorry. But thanks be to God, I had enough mental maturity, stage maturity to go, whoa, calm down. I just asked that question. Did anybody see their own walk? You all went, nah, I don't know.
Oh, it's horrible.
What's your name? And you went, Brendan. I said, Brendan, put your hand up in the air. And everybody looked, Brendan in the wheelchair. And I went, Brendan owns the night. I dropped the mic. Place went like a black comedy club. Everybody went buck wild. He was loving the moment. I walked away past him. That's it. And I did a whole circle of the room, pretty much thinking I was fucking Patrice O'Neill or something. But the room, because those kind of wilder rooms, they are a touch like the ghetto, the black rooms where they're like, nah, damn! Yeah. And I was like, thank fuck, because that could have gone. He could have been sometimes
I will do no such thing.
There's a local hero, you know what I mean? This guy was like, nah. Because he was loving it. He was loving it. And he knew he had me caught. Yeah. Because that question would never have come up.
But I think if roles were reversed and you were in that situation, that person always just wants to, I know you're fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting that all the time. People are like, how's your dad? And I'm saying, oh, well, no, he actually, he passes it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I just want to fucking pass it. Yeah. Even last week, teaching kids. This girl, I teach in a school called Talented Kids Performing Arts School. You have to be talented to join, otherwise you're screwed. And one of the kids was new, and she went, "You're the kidnapper, aren't you? You're the kidnapper." And I went, "I am, yeah." And she's only, like, the last thing is, she's only 6, and she went, "And you did the dancing, didn't you? You did the kidnapping dance, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And she went, "And your dad died, didn't he?" "He did, didn't he? He died, and you did, didn't he? And you had to dance." And then the other kids are like, "Yeah, yeah, that's him. His dad's dead." And you're just like, brilliant.
The innocence of it.
Me and Maury just kind of looked at her. The innocent, this is brilliant. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Did you ever get mistaken for anybody?
Do
you know when people go, you're the, and they're close enough, but they're not quite.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, outside Coppers is here. What did they say? They said, are you Kieran from Love Hate who does the dancing?
Right.
And it was like, Kieran Fair City, Love Hate Paulie, and the dance. It was like, Kieran from Love Hate who does the dancing. It was like, yeah, no, but like, as in things, no, not really.
I got absolutely mistaken. As I said, my tiny little cameo on Fair City one time was I played a solicitor called Carl, and my 3 opening scenes all began and opened like this. Right, I'll talk to you next week. So they were all that. But it was clearly not from Fair City, but these women recognised me down in Limerick, and they were sort of girls that wear pyjamas, and we'll call them ladies. And they were at these traffic lights, and it was during Panto. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I was in the city, and they were beside me, and as loud as could be, as if I wasn't there, as if I was on the telly at the time, they went, "That's your man." "What? That's your man, lo? It's your man." I'm like, I am the man. I am the man. Wonder what they're going to say here about me. "That's your man." And it was like, he's clearly in the Panto or something else. And he went, "Yeah, he was the rapist on Fair City." I'm like, I didn't rape anybody. And I can't look around now because I can't pretend like I've been listening. I haven't raped anybody. But I was kind of going, if I got a rapey gig, I probably would, take.
He's the rapist.
He's the rapist. And the other one's like, I don't recognise him at all. It's like, brilliant. He raped the one on Fair City. I'm like, I don't know anything about any rape. Oh my god. They were just so, Yeah. But it was that, I was in that weird fucking between two dimensions where I couldn't say anything because then I'd sound like a creepy fucker who was listening to him.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jesus Christ, I just realised we better head back in, Chad.
How long have you been
We've done over 45 minutes of
nattering. 45 minutes? Jeez,
45 minutes of nattering.
And I haven't shut up.
What's coming up? Do you know, are we allowed to know anything is coming up? Coppers is back on the fucking...
I'm playing a rapist in Fair City.
A rapist!
I've got this great idea. This Panto with yourself. And then Copperface Jack's the musical, Paul Howard, who I know you had on your podcast as well.
Carl Harper.
Copperface Jacks.
He's got
Copperface Jacks. That's coming back, and we're doing the Olympia again, and then we're going to be doing the the UCH, we were going to be on this, and then the Cork Opera House, where I've never been before, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Like that.
Yeah, I can't wait. So it's but it's that thing. It's like, you know that actor thing. I was like, oh, what are you doing now? What's next and stuff like that. And it is that, and you can. It's just the look of the draw, and you can read into it too much. But you know what? After the year I've had, aren't we just fucking lucky to be alive? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, that'll take us into August, and then I'll ring you and go, Tom, I'm depressed. I tried to stand-up comedian. It's not working for me at all.
Yeah, well, if you want to shake off depression, I wouldn't give stand-up. Johnny Ward, it's been an absolute fucking pleasure. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Tom Mahoney, the biz. Thank you.
And my thanks again to Johnny. Like he said, Coppers and Musicals will be back this summer. So if you want to catch us before then, you can catch the two of us. We're going to be in the Panto here in Limerick in UCH until the 5th or 6th of January. There's almost no tickets left, so I don't know why I'm telling you that. So thank you very much. Like I said earlier, follow me on all usual social platforms, Tom O'Mahony Comedy. If you do want to donate to the podcast, of course, there is the Patreon, which I talk about all the time. You will be getting the early releases of everything, including the own Colgan and Tom O'Mahony show, soon to be properly named, but we're leaving that up to the guests. But you'll hear it yourself. The Patreons are going to get that one first, and you will get every episode first before the general public release. So there you go. The Patreon link is down in the old show notes. For all other stuff, go ahead and have a gander at it. There's the merch shop there if you want to get some stuff in before Christmas. Go for it. There's the Buckshot merch shop at trepublic.com/Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. It's all there for you, gang. Right, go on away, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I'll chat to you again next week. Good luck.